Hello beauty babes, this is Kaylin back again with another video that was requested. This is going to be a video on working with a lower lash count and a thinner lash line. As you can see, she does have some extensions from a previous full set, so today's just a fill. We already did a lash bath, so we're just going straight into that prep before the extensions. So we're doing pads and tape to secure the lower lashes and make sure that we don't have any issues with those coming out during the actual application. As you can see, she only has about half of her lower lash line. The outer corner is kind of missing there, but there are some very small lashes there that do need to be secured, because if you get any of those tiny lashes stuck to the extensions, it is painful and such a hassle to get them off. So I highly recommend taking your time with taping and putting those eye pads on, making sure everything's comfortable so you encounter zero issues, especially with those tiny eyelashes. With this client, it may seem as though the actual tape is bothering her too close to her waterline, but it's absolutely not. I always double check with her to make sure everything's comfortable, and I continuously check with her throughout the service to make sure nothing's moved at all. And we're going to get into her mapping here as well. This is going to be a wispy cat eye today, and it's a fill, as I mentioned. So we're going to work with the extensions that she currently has and remove any outgrown extensions in just a moment here. When working with a client that has a lower lash count or a thinner lash line, I definitely always recommend working with thinner diameters to really help those lashes still continue to grow and stay healthy, since we are adding weight to them. Can honestly just cause damage if you're not using the right diameter. So I highly recommend educating yourself and making sure that you are using the correct diameters for the correct thickness of natural lashes. For her specifically, we'll be using 0.3s and 0.5s, and I am going to be very limited with those 0.5s. I'm not going to use too many since she does have weaker lashes and I don't believe they would be able to support the weight. I definitely always use more of the 0.3s on this client specifically. And here you get a little bit closer into the lash line so you can actually see just how thin those lashes are. She does have a lot of new growth during this appointment, so I'm very happy to see that, and it's been that way since the last several appointments. She came to me with a very damaged lash line from a previous artist, and we've been working together to rehab her lash line and hopefully have it come back, and this is honestly so much better than where we started. So I'm so happy for her and proud of her, because she's been keeping up with her aftercare, of course, and coming in for her fills on time. So she's been on top of it, and I've been doing my part as well as her lash tech to just make sure that we're applying the correct thickness of lashes, the correct style of set for her, and making sure that she still gets that beautiful wispiness that she's looking for out of her lash extensions. So as you just saw from me going through her extensions, we don't have too many outgrowns, and there you saw the 4-week retention. This is 4 weeks of retention on this client, which is amazing, because after the first set, she came back in about a week and a half with about 3 eyelashes. So for her to come back with nearly over 40 to 50% of her set is absolutely amazing. And now let's get into those tips and tricks while we apply these lashes. So typically with a lower lash count or a thinner lash line, you want to take it on just like you would take on any regular full lash line. So basically we're just going to go ahead and isolate and apply those extensions one by one as we would with any other set. But with these specific clients, you do need to be very cautious and take your time with isolation, since they do usually have a lot of anagen baby lashes that are very weak, thin, and very easily get stuck to those extensions. As you can see right now, one just got stuck, and I had to remove a fiber since it lifted it and would have affected my attachment. So I highly recommend just taking your time. Don't rush through the set just because there's less lashes there. And as I was mentioning earlier with the diameter, of course, always make sure you're using the correct diameter and that you're using very thin light fans and thin light spikes. You don't want to use very many fibers. It will depend on the actual thickness of your specific client that you're working with, but for her specifically, I'm not using any more than 8 fibers on one single extension, even with my fans and my spikes. So that's going to cross the entire lash line, no more than 8 fibers per lash. And we're mixing the 0.5, 0.3s. I determine which natural lash gets which diameter based off the actual thickness of the actual lash. So to sum everything up, you'll just have to do your part as a lash tech and use your expertise to determine the right style, curl, and diameter for your client, while also, of course, using your skills and executing perfectly with your isolation, placement, and attachment. And your client just has to come in for regular fills to remove those outgrown lashes and maintain her extensions. And here you see her final results from her fill. She's wispy and beautiful.